Welcome to the part 6 of the project Yamaha TTR125. In this video, I'll be pretty impatient putting everything together. I guess I can say impatient. I don't like it. Do it again. Welcome to the part 6 of the Yamaha TTR125 restoration. In this video, I'll be putting pretty much the engine and connecting all the wiring together. Mostly I will be just connecting all the wires, getting all the hoses out of the way to see if it'll start, and I'll clean it up later, so you will see me kind of just rushing through it. But yeah, enjoy it. Don't remember how this went in here. Okay. I see. is. So, like I said earlier, I don't have the key for this ignition, but I found this ignition for a Kawasaki that may actually, you know, it will definitely work when I wire it, but I'll see if I can make it fit right here. So I'll work on that. Oh, spider. There's a zip tie here. Okay. So which one is it? Is this one right here? This is the ignition switch. get some pliers. Got it off. Maybe I'll disconnect the smaller plugs. Try to feed the smaller ones through it first, so that it will give me more room. There we go. Oh, got everything out. And here comes the ignition. They don't look too different. This one seems to be a little bit wider and longer, but I think I can make it work. All right, guys. So I have 2 of the ignition switches here, and this one right here fits in this little hole, but I can't reuse this little plastic piece because it's pretty tall. So what I'm gonna use the original one that came on this switch. And I'm sorry, this does not look bad at all to me. So I think I will leave it as is, and yeah, I think it will all fit. I was thinking about cutting off these little brackets, but I think maybe I'll leave them there because they prevent this from moving around. Maybe I'll actually zip tie it around. It's not gonna look pretty, but we'll see. Here's the key. It works. So my plan is to cut this plug, and then look at the diagram. Maybe, no, well, we have red, we have black, we have brown, and we have black and white. So I had to look at the Kawasaki and Yamaha diagram to figure out which wire coded for what, and then cut it and put them together. So that's the plan. Okay, so through trial and error, I was able to get it to work. Turn the key on. Where is it touching? So you can hear the starter. Also, the motorcycle has spark. It was pretty weak, but it has spark, which is really good news. And for the Yamaha side, it's pretty straightforward which wire, is which. But for the Kawasaki, I'm guessing this came from KZ. I don't know, one of the KZ model bikes. And the only common thing among Kawasaki ignition switches is that the white wire was always battery in every diagram, but every other diagram the wire color changed, so I couldn't really figure out which one goes where. So I just started putting 2 wires together until the motorcycle turned over with the starter. So I'm gonna clean this up, make it look all nice, and I'm guessing these 2 wires on the ignition switch side are just a kill switch on and off. So
I'm just gonna connect them to the Yamaha side on and off wires, and you know, once the motorcycle runs, I can actually test it. So I'm gonna clean it up, put it all together, and see what happens. Alright, I buttoned up the wiring harness. It looks a lot better, and it works. You just turn the ignition key on, and it works. Hopefully I'm right about the kill switch wires. We'll see. I got the switch installed on the handlebar. On, off. Time to install the carb. To loosen this up. There we go. Hopefully my cleaning worked well. Carb is in there. Yeah, I just looked at the service manual for the carb, and this is actually the vent hose, and it will come up here, and there'll be like a little three-way connector. Yeah, and one hose would go up here, and I guess it would connect to the gas tank cap, and it would go here, T connector, and it would just go down here to vent. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna hook up a hose here, run it down, and then I'm just gonna put a piece of hose on the cap and run it here, and it'll point down as well. I'm not gonna connect them. I do have a T connector laying around somewhere, but not really worried about it. And this one right here is for gas. Now it's time to route the cables. I'll clean up this wiring, I promise. I know it's an eyesore. This is the choke. A little bent. It doesn't stay. I don't know if it's supposed to on this bike. It doesn't stay up. And this throttle cable is super long. A bit longer than I anticipated. So maybe I can route it through the frame. Kind of make it a little bit. No, it's probably not a good idea. Still feels fine. Just doesn't look good. Hope this throttle cable works out. It's not too bad. I think I can live with it. I think that will do. Grease it up a little bit. This anti-corrosive measure, and it'll lubricate the handlebar for the grip to slide. Alright, I got it in there. Let's put this little guy in here. Should probably put some lube in here. Just a little drop to help move things along. The cable is way too long. The little number plate will probably hide it a little bit. Next on the list. Can you guess what it is? If you guessed air filter, you're right. Old air filter. It's going straight in the garbage. Except, let me save this little metal piece. Kind of wire wheeled this little metal piece right here. Got a new filter. And I have, I think, a little bit of filter oil left in here, but if that one ends, I have a new one. I think this one is actually pre-greased. This definitely has grease on the edges. Pre-oiled with Maxima FFT. So this is pre-oiled filter, so I guess I don't have to use my motor oil. Good stuff. All right, and it goes. Wait, which way it went? This way. Right on. Cover goes on. Clean this thing up so it looks nice and fresh. Maybe. Got it on. I have a bunch of hoses from my Mazda truck when I got rid of that the carburetor. This guy right here. Just slide on like this, and we'll just throw you right here, down here, so you can vent. I'll hook up the drain hose, flow hose, routed similarly. Let's check on this gas tank. I want to clean it up a little bit, just wipe it down. That's a little bit better. Got a container. Drain that all gas. Yeah, it's stuck. Hello. Here we go. I'll probably have to put it in reserve. Well, the gas comes out for the most part pretty clean. So I'm gonna drain it through the top in case there's, some junk stuck in there, little metal, not metal, but dust pieces or whatever, little rocks, because there's a little strainer on the inside and it just prevents it from flowing. So I'm just gonna dump it through the top. The gasoline doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty clear. I see some sediment on the bottom, but other than that, it's fine. So I'd say it's pretty good to go. Alright, I got the fuel hose connected. I don't know what this one is for. I don't know if I should cap it off. I'll go back to the manual, and I guess that's the overflow. I had to recheck my connections, but let's actually see if the gasket will hold, because the bowl gasket was kind of questionable. So let's give it a few moments. Well, so far it looks like it's holding. It's dry, so I guess time will tell. And hopefully, the fuel gets delivered to the car, but I don't really see why it would, would not be. But yeah, time will tell. The exhaust here, I'm gonna wipe it down real quick. Cut the zip tie off. It's supposed to hold this plastic piece. It gets broken off. And I'm gonna throw it on the motorcycle. I'm gonna wipe it down a little bit to restore some color to it. It's not too bad. Alright, let's throw this exhaust on. Kind of get impatient. See if this thing will start.
I'll go to the post office.
Okay. Before I take it outside and try to start it, I want to see if I can tighten up this exhaust baffle. Not too bad. Hey, so as you saw yesterday, the little TTR runs. It kind of ran rough, but it ran nonetheless. And today, I went outside and I started it, and it started pretty much without any. I used brake cleaner to start it yesterday, as you saw on video, because it didn't want to start by itself. But it started by itself, and I adjusted the throttle cable tension a little bit and the idle, so it idles by itself, and it starts by itself, which is good. And also I retaped and shortened the the wire harness for the switch, and I tried to find the wires, the kill switch wires, when you turn the key off and the motorcycle stops. But I tried different wires, different combinations, and I couldn't get it, so I just gave up on it. I just taped the two wires. I guess it's just the battery, and I guess it goes to the coil. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not big on electronics, so this is pretty much like a on, and then and you press the starter and it'll start, but it won't turn off if you turn the key off. You have to do it manually, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. It looks good to me. I shortened it because it was really long. It will go around here, but I shortened it to probably the stock size, maybe a little bit longer. And I also changed the position of the throttle shift. It was looped underneath, and I put it on top. It just feels a little bit better, even though it looks really ugly. I kind of filed down the paint. It was like a little glob of paint right here, so it looks a little bit better. But it is what it is. As long as it functions, that's what I care about. And this is the carb, and this is the little some plastic came out, or rubber came out. Anyway, this is the how it looks from the little washer and whatever I added. It kind of almost looks stock. You put a little hood on, and it's hidden there. Also, I've taken the carb bowl to see if the gasoline is all dirty. It was a little bit dirty. There was some little gritty stuff floating around. I dumped it, but I tightened up the gasket, and it doesn't leak anymore. But it does come out just very slightly from overflow. It's kind of like wet or sweating. So I think I had to adjust the float height, and I'll mess around with it. But what I want to do now is button up the motorcycle a little bit. I want to put a fender on it, just put some of the plastics on, and I want to put the chain on it, so maybe when it's nicer outside, it's raining right now, I can take it for a test ride. But just want to put some things back. I'll put another grip on it, make it look nicer. So let's get to it. That's good. This one is tight. Don't have to glue it. Leave all this schmutz on it. This is perfect. This is not going nowhere. Good. So I don't have a clutch lever, but I do have a brake lever, aka clutch lever, when you twist it or flip it upside down. Focus the brake cable a little bit. Usually you use the tri-flow for cable lubrication. I do have like a Teflon lube, especially for cables, but for that one I need to set up a little jig thing that goes here, and you spray it. This is kind of seems to be easier, and it works really good. Alright, that should be fine. Next, I'm going to hook up the clutch cable. I'll give it some lube as well. Hopefully it'll work itself down with gravity. I think that's how it was routed before. Don't exactly remember how it was, but it seems to be. It seems to look how it was before. Moving on to the lever. Yeah, it seems to be fine. There's a little play right here. I can back off just slightly. And you can't even see it. This is a upside down brake lever. Clutch lever. And here's the brake lever. I forgot to turn on the camera when I was putting up the chain, or putting on the chain, but I just put on the chain and I shortened it to the right size, and now I'm just setting up the tension. It should be okay. It should be fine. The only thing is that it sort of glides on top of the shifter. I don't think I put the shifter linkage correctly. Tighten it, loosen it. Oh, okay. I just had it, this part right here was facing the wrong way. So now we got chain, sprocket and everything connected without any interference.
So why are you talking about a Yamaha in front of a Suzuki?
It doesn't matter.
That seems
people know this bike. They watch
Sounds
it.
disrespectful. Anyway.
I've ridden this before.
Okay.
Well, thanks for watching the 6-part. I believe I have only one more episode coming out, which is the final part. I'm not going to spoil what it's going to be, so you just have to see for yourself. Yeah. Well, the spring is coming up, and it's going to be nice outside, so I hope you guys get to ride your bikes. Thanks for watching, and please let me know what you think about my videos.